like lightning before.
What the fuck is going on, everybody? This is your boy Dark Star, and I got my boy Outcast Havoc here. Say what's up, bro.
What up? What up?
All right, and today we got a good amount of shit to cover today. I will be honest, like the first half of the show, I want to say is gonna be Superman heavy related. It's going to be a Superman heavy related topic just in the beginning. So just kind of hang with me for a minute, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the next topic. But Outcast, did you check out the finale for Superman and Lois yet, man?
Oh yeah. I was like interested in having a continuation of what they're doing, but we all know what that storyline leads to.
Yeah,
we definitely all know what that storyline leads to.
Yeah, and for those that didn't watch it, I'll try to give like a light breakdown of pretty much what happened. Just give you kind of the cliff notes of what happened. I'm not going to give all the details, but just kind of the cliff notes. So, what happened is that the episode before this, Lex Luthor was released from prison due to the fact that he was found out that he was framed for the crime that he committed. And he blames Lois Lane because she wrote an article on him. And this motherfucker walked from the prison all the way to the Kent farm to basically tell Lois to fucking retire, or he's going to retire her for her. And apparently, obviously, Lois Lane, she ain't going to do that shit, right? So he ends up going to where Bruno Mannheim's little office used to be at, and he sees Bizarro down there. And Bizarro was eating like rats and shit like that. And then out of nowhere, Bizarro attacks Otis. Now, if y'all don't know who the fuck Otis is, go back and watch the Christopher Reeve Superman, and you'll know who the fuck Otis is. Anyway, Bizarro eats Otis's ear off, and then Lex Luthor just basically unloads the clip on Bizarro with the freaking kryptonite gun. And after he does that, finds out that this motherfucker literally resurrects after you kill him. So Lex Luthor pretty much starts feeding him raw animals and shit, and pretty much came up with a fucked up idea. Why don't we just kill him multiple times and see how much he could take? So Lex Luthor, along with Otis, they get together and they just start killing this dude, killing Bizarro multiple times. But the way he asked Bizarro was fucked up, man. Hold on. Yeah, the way he asked him was fucked up because he went up to him and said, just please let me kill you. I was like, bruh, you remember that shit, Outcast?
Well, that's one of those Lex Luthor situations where he was just like, either I ask or I, figure out a way to get things done,
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, and by the way, Michael Cutlitz does a fucking awesome job as Lex Luthor. I cannot wait to see more of him as Lex Luthor, in my opinion. I think he does pretty good. But anyway, so they start killing him multiple times, and they got to the point they killed him so many fucking times that not only was he adapting, but he ended up mutating. Okay? So we're gonna fast forward. Lois's dad ends up meeting some chick on a dating app, right? And she wanted to try. She was saying she wanted to get frisky in the freaking alleyway. I mean, let's be honest. We already know that's a little sus. But anyway, so she acts like she wanted to get a little frisky in the alleyway. They go to the alleyway, then Otis shows up, and then she tases him, and he disappears off screen. So right now we don't know if he's alive or if he's dead. So that's kind of left up in the air. And Lois starts trying to call her dad, see where he's at. Clark hears the phone in the freaking alleyway. Then he decides, hey, I need to go fly up in space, see if I can find Miss General Lane. And then he hears a car pulling up to the Kent farm, and it's Lex Luthor. And basically, Lex Luthor says something along the lines like, you should have told Lois Lois should have listened to my offer. Next thing you know, something comes crashing into one of the cellars, and what do you fucking know? It's fucking Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Lex Luthor pretty much turned Bizarro into Doomsday. And I'm going to be honest, the design for Doomsday is way. I think it was better than Zack Snyder's design of Doomsday. I'm sorry, but I think it topped Zack Snyder's design. I'm sorry, like it topped it. And
There's definitely more in that storyline going on than meets the eye. I mean,
oh
the
yeah,
fact that he can turn into Doomsday, I'm like, are they hinting some other things that they might bring
yeah,
to the storylines?
right. Because when they were fighting in the bottom, when they started fighting, and he realized that he couldn't really kill him, and they fought in the subway. That part right there, I was like, oh man, he gonna fucking kill this dude. And sure enough, he was like, wasn't he? He was pretty much declared dead for like what? How long? Like maybe like a minute or two.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then out of nowhere, he starts having flashes of his kids and his wife, and then not to mention he gets a little hint. He gets a little bit of sunlight, wakes up, knocks Doomsday to the fucking moon. All right, and I can't tell you what happened. I'd rather just show you what happened. Should I show them what happened, Havoc?
definitely a DBZ moment.
Okay, let me show them what happened. And just FYI, I did have to edit out the music because of copyright purposes. So just kind of bear with the music because, again, I ain't trying to get copyright struck because they were playing some really badass music. But here, this is pretty much how it ended. Yeah, and that's pretty much how it ended right there.
I just want to know how the TV show did better story writing and animation than the actual movies.
Right, right. Like that dude. You know what this actually tells me is that the people that are on the show for Superman and Lois,
They know.
you not do they know, but you can tell they're actual fans, not just actual fans of Superman, but they know the source material.
Exactly.
Because I've noticed with every it gets better with not just every season, but every episode it gets better. You know?
Right. And I feel like that's the other reason why they basically changing up the storyline because to match the new story,
Yeah,
what's
and that yeah,
going on. So they gotta switch it up to keep it
yeah. Oh yeah, because I mean, you can tell they took some source material from some of the new stuff that they added in the comic books.
Yeah.
Which I mean, some of the stuff is not. I don't think it's that bad of an idea, but at the same time, some of the new stuff they're doing in the comic books is kind of trash. But then again, comic book writing nowadays is kind of going to shit. But anyway, I digress.
That they just trying to set up like a TV, like more TV series linked to the movies / comics, and
Right.
I don't know if it's like the irony of it or like just the timing of it. The same time that they renewing this, you know, uh, season like Lois and Clark or Superman and Lois, uh, is the same year that we get an MK1. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe we might get something like Injustice and stuff. A
I
little
mean,
bit, just a tad bit.
I heard a rumor that Ed Boon did tease Injustice 2. I mean, Injustice 3, but I'm not sure how true that rumor is. I don't have a Twitter, so I really can't. I can't say it. So
Right.
yeah. And then
So with
speaking
that
of the
episode,
yeah, that episode, I'm not gonna lie. If I had to rate that episode, I give that episode a 10 out of 10. And normally I don't give anything a 10 out of 10, but dude, this episode was fucking fire. Straight fire. 10 out of 10 for me.
it's gonna keep doing the same. They gonna keep this one going along with the new one, or what do you think's gonna happen?
I think they're still gonna keep the show going because I mean the show it makes numbers. I mean, people are tuning in, they're watching. You know, it's not like shows like Legends of Tomorrow, where you had a viewership and then it started falling off the cliff with like every season. You know what I mean?
Legends of
Like
Tomorrow, that was so good. Mm-mm.
it started out good, and I think I want to say after like season 3 or 4, it just started to fall off.
Yeah, they got to the point where they didn't know where the story was going, I think. And
No,
the
I
writing,
think it was, yeah.
as soon as I saw Booster Gold, I was like, what are y'all doing?
They started running out of ideas. I think that's what it was. They just started to run out of ideas, man. That's just my opinion, because that's what it felt like. It felt like they were just running out of ideas, so they were just basically taking what they could, throwing it up against the wall, and hoping it would fucking stick.
I enjoyed the Flashpoint, um, except when they had Supergirl in there, and all the other parts of it.
Oh, the
What?
Flash movie?
No, no, no. Like Futures of Tomorrow. I enjoyed like the crossover Flashpoint events that set up
Mm,
different, flashpoints and crossovers, but at the end of it is just like nothing else
yeah,
happens. So it's just like, oh,
yeah, no, I feel you on that. And then since you mentioned the movies, dude, so let's jump into this one real quick. So they just casted a new Superman dude by the name of David Corn Sweat. Um, yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, man? Hello? Oh man, don't tell me his sound kind of fell off.
can you hear me?
Yeah, barely, barely.
So at first, I thought they were trying to do like an older Superman, because I thought they were gonna go into the what's that one Superman series? Uh, Damn, I can't remember right now. Anyways, I thought they were trying to cast an older Superman, but it looks like they're going a completely different direction with the younger Superman. So I honestly don't think they know what they're doing because the movies they have planned, along with the people they're casting, don't fit with any kind of storyline currently.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I thought I was the only one that was thinking that.
Because I thought they were going to do Kingdom Come storyline
Yeah,
and then change it up a bit, but that's an older Superman along with like
yeah,
older superheroes.
yeah. I mean, and I'll be honest, man. I think Henry Cavill could pull off a Kingdom Come Superman. Or if not, they could have. If they didn't want to cast Henry Cavill as an older Superman, they probably could have casted. God, what's that dude's name? Fuck, I'm forgetting his name.
You know, a lot of people were like suggesting Bruce Campbell be Superman, like an older version. I
That
was
would
like,
be
okay,
interesting. I think that would be interesting. Not that you. Um, what's his name? John Hamm. There you go.
John Hamm.
I think he would do if he couldn't play like an older Superman. I think he could do good as an older Batman.
Yeah,
But that's just my opinion, though. Just my opinion. But yeah, I kind of think with them rebooting the DC universe and then working with making a Superman younger, like to me, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it because I mean, well, let's just be honest. Warner Brothers kept dicking around Henry Cavill. They did him dirty.
well, apparently the situation with Henry Cavill was they weren't too sure if Warner Brothers was not too sure if they were going to stick with Snyderverse and bring it back at a later time because what that essentially does is that kind of like basically paves the way to where if the storyline isn't what they want it to be with the current producers, they can always go back to Snyder. And Snyder already got probably like the next 6 movies planned out or storylines or whatever you want to call it. And
Uh,
now that they're like setting up this multiverse thing, they can switch back between the 2 movie sets. It'll kind of be confusing, but at the same time, whatever happens with the current movie won't affect the other movies to a certain extent. They'll just do another Crisis or Flashpoint, and then they can go back between the two. But I don't know.
I heard that was the original plan they were gonna do. They were actually gonna set up for Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Right.
Like freaking Hamada actually had it planned out because he was gonna bring Henry Cavill back. not just that, but he even had it to where planned out to where he was gonna do a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton as the older Bruce Wayne.
Right. But
Yeah, I've been here. Yeah, that's off the table now.
that's also why they were the whole situation with Black Adam and Shazam. Um, Shazam is a crucial part in Kingdom Come, not necessarily Black Adam. That could have been played by any villain attacking people and doing all that crazy stuff. But
Yeah,
Superman, the younger version of Superman, isn't needed for Kingdom Come storyline. But
yeah, true, true.
after Kingdom Come storyline comes to an end, that's where he would come back. But at the same time, it's just like maybe they're not. Maybe they decided not to go down that route because they want to follow maybe the new DC, which is a lot of stuff is going on in there. So we don't even know what's
Yeah,
gonna happen yet.
yeah, because it's like a lot of the stuff that they do kind of have planned for DC, like I don't know, I don't know, man, because I know like they're trying to bring in what was it, the Authority. They're doing
Yeah,
Batman Brave and the Bold, and then they're rebooting the Suicide Squad apparently, but it's supposed to be, instead of it being Rick Flag, it's supposed to be Rick Flag's dad or something like that,
don't
and
forget.
his team. Yeah, I forget his name, but I know who's playing him though.
I
But
thought they were going to really go all in on the Teen Titans, especially since they're doing, Blue Beetle and stuff. I was like, are y'all going to do the Reach? Are y'all going to talk about all these other outside threats on Earth yet? Because
yeah,
I,
they're gonna do.
me personally, I would love to see a Savage movie, like a movie just about Savage, and then branch that into like other movies because he's
Oh,
very.
Vandal Savage, yes,
We
yes.
could just get like one villain movie with just him and it goes into all these other people's storylines because he's like we didn't even get an update on like any of that stuff. I thought we would do it at least for the Blue Beetle because that's his story, a portion of his story.
Yeah.
But
And I think and this is the issue with like whenever when some companies want to do villain stories, this is the issue. And this is an issue that I've always had. This is something I've even had an issue with, is that they always try to, for some reason, they try to find some way to make the villain empathetic. Like they try to make it to where like you kind of feel sorry for the villain, and it's kind of like, no, motherfucker's a villain for a fucking reason.
you know
Like,
what's crazy? I don't see Vandal Savage as a villain. I think he's a legit like person that's trying to do good in a sense. Like he's trying to uplift the human race, like out of what he knows as threats along the galaxy. Because remember, he's all about surviving and conquering, but to an extent as Earth. He knows other places exist, other realms, but he's always trying to focus more on Earth and essentially like in the comics you see that like he's always on the side of Earth regardless of the situation. Earth being destroyed, Vandal Savage steps up to try to like do something to stop it being destroyed, you know.
true, but at the same time, he does it for his own personal gain. Because again, when like I would agree with you if
Yeah,
he hadn't taken Batman's plan to freaking subdue the Justice League and turn it into a plan to kill the Justice League.
true. I mean, you also
At
have to
that,
think
at that,
about Doctor Fate as well. Like that could have been a whole movie as well, linked to Vandal Savage and
in
all this
fact,
other
dude, I
stuff.
heard they were I heard like they wanted to try to take Doctor Fate and they wanted to do like a prequel movie for Doctor Fate, like specifically to focus on Doctor Fate. And
Yeah,
honestly, that's a character, in my opinion, that is slept on badly.
that they could have done that to counteract what's his name,
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, because Doctor Fate has a more deeper storyline, but I think his character development is it takes a while to like really show, and it draws
Mm,
in so many other characters to show his true character. You got
yeah,
Zatanna, you got Doctor Doom, not Doctor Doom, that's Marvel. I'm tripping. Black Adam, sorry.
yeah.
Um,
No, I got you.
Hawkeye, all those characters are kind of thrown in there, but they're reasonings for him to, and that's what I thought they were going to actually do because we are getting some other interesting movies.
Yeah, because I heard. Yeah, because it was like that. I think they wanted. Didn't they say they wanted to do a possibly a JSA movie?
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get a Justice Society movie, to be honest, because the way things are playing out, they're making a Swamp Thing movie. I don't know what the Swamp Thing. I know they had the TV series, which I
Yeah,
didn't watch. I didn't even get a chance to watch. They canceled it.
honestly, dude, it wasn't that bad. I watched it. I didn't think it was that bad.
Mhm.
I thought it was actually pretty good. It's just a damn for the budget they had. I thought it was good, and not only that, but the way they explained Swamp Thing was accurate as fuck. To the
Yeah,
point where, like, you know how they usually say that with Swamp Thing and I forget the main dude's name. Something I forgot. I always forget Swamp Thing's human name. That they're basically separate. That like his body was dead and basically took his
yeah.
spirit and put it into
Spirit of the
the
Forest.
avatar of the green, which is Swamp Thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
they apparently we're gonna get a Booster Gold TV show.
yeah, I don't think that's happening
Know how
anytime
that's gonna
soon.
work out. But the only
Yeah,
one I'm really excited for is the Lantern TV series. That's the
if,
only.
if are they still doing it?
Yes, they're doing. So we already got confirmed Constantine. Of course, you already know John. Keanu Reeves will be the new Constantine officially for DC.
I'll
Um,
double check on that because if that fell through the cracks, I'm gonna be pissed.
they definitely he's definitely going to be the new Constantine. We also have, of course, the what do you call it? It's like you were saying, the Authority. They're doing the Authority, but I don't know if they're going to go full into the Authority.
That's what I mean. That's probably what they're gonna. I don't. Here's my question:
Mm.
are they gonna go with the DC version, or are they gonna go with the Wildstorm origin? That's the double jeopardy question.
Mm.
But at the same time, I don't think they'll be. I think Warner Brothers will be too scared to go to the Wildstorm version because the Wildstorm version is it's pretty out there.
Remember, we also have Superman Legacy. You also got to remember that.
Because I know they're going to be introducing the Authority in Superman Legacy.
Well, apparently Henry Cavill is going to be in that as well. So I
Really,
don't know what they're doing as far as I really do think they're still doing the multiverse thing. They just don't want to say nothing yet. The Henry
I don't
Cavill
know.
doesn't need to be in the movie currently because the storyline is not about him currently.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, honestly, I'll just let it all play out. In my opinion, I'm just going to let it play out.
Yeah,
You know,
I
and
honestly
then
don't know what they're doing with the storyline. And then we're supposed to get another Joker sequel to the Joker.
which I don't really care to watch. I don't care to watch it, but I'll tell you this much: if my chick wants to go watch it, we'll go watch it because she's a fan of Lady Gaga. I like Lady Gaga, but I'm kind of just I don't know
You're
if I'm even
scared of
gonna really.
you're scared of Jared Leto showing up.
No, Jared Leto, I'll punch that motherfucker in the chest.
You know they made fun of
Bird,
him in the cartoon Teen Titans. That was hilarious.
yes,
It
I
was
heard, I heard about that. I remember hearing about that. It's fucking funny, man. And then, oh shit, maybe let me ask you this question because I know one of my subscribers brought this up, which is kind of the reason why I'm doing the show because she kind of freaking said something in the comment section when I put up the picture of the new casting of Superman
mm.
because she was saying that he looked kind of soft, which kind of begs the question. Do you feel like when it comes to like when Hollywood's casting some of these actors for some of these parts, some of the actors they're casting, they do look kind of soft, like they seem kind of soyish.
I'm gonna put it this way, right? A lot of the CW does a lot of woke stuff.
Oh
A
no, I'm
lot
not
of the
talking
time.
CW. No, CW that's a given. I'm talking like in like the movies.
Oh,
CW, no,
movies.
that's a given. That's a given. That's a given. We already know that that's what's gonna
As
happen
far
with.
as movies, that's what I was trying to say is that they're trying to be more cohesive to the TV show. Like they're trying to be able to just jump back and forth between the movie and TV shows, but they're not always on the same point. And I feel like we still don't even know where the storyline's going. But it might be, for all we know, we might get Superman on drugs, Kryptonite Superman, and he might need to look soft. We don't
Earth
know.
three, no, oh no, or we get Earth three Superman, and you know where I'm going with
Right.
that with Earth three Superman, where he crushes up the kryptonite and
And
snorts them
start
like he's
hitting.
snorting up an 8 ball.
Yeah, we don't know where the storyline is going to know what kind of Superman they might need. Maybe they might need a soft Superman, versus a Superman that might have a mental break and destroy all of the more serious Superman. Like I feel like Henry Cavill is one of those Supermans that'd be like the red kryptonite kind. Destroy all of you gotta pick your battles as far as what you're going for overall storyline, and
Anyway,
a
yeah,
movie, you can't really change too much up.
and my thing, like with as far as Henry Cavill Superman, like my thing is this: Henry Cavill was actually just going off of what you even call it. I think he was kind of going off of just going off of what the script said, whatever the script dictated. However, Henry Cavill is actually a whatchamacallit. He is a fan of Superman. He's even expressed that with Superman, like he was tired of the doom and gloom of Superman and wanted to show a lighter version of Superman where, he's more hopeful. Because again, you gotta also remember Henry Cavill's a nerd too.
Hmm.
The dude's even said he's been a fan of Superman ever since he was a little kid. He read a lot of Superman comics and stuff,
Yeah, I have a
So
question.
hold on one sec. Hold on, I gotta respond to my homeboy Wolf's. That's what he said. I think if he bulks up for the movie, he's a 6'4" dude, so it's not like he doesn't have. Right, got that. And I'll be honest, I'll give the dude a chance. I'll give David Cornsweat a chance because again, let's not forget, and this is something that Tyler Hecklin said. If the dude from from Superman and Lois, this is what he said, and I actually agree with this stance that he said is that you gotta wait and see because there's a reason why a lot of times these directors cast some of these actors as certain characters. And he is right about that. Case in point, Heath Ledger, Michael Keaton. Let's see who else. Robert Pattinson. Ben Affleck. Do I need to keep listing names? Oh no, hold on. I got one more I could list off the top of my head. Hold on one second. Yeah, and then let's see who else. Brandon Routh. They even said the same thing about Henry Cavill, and look how those casting choices turned out. Phenomenal fucking casting choices. So, but then again, I mean, granted, some people are still critical of Ben Affleck as Batman, but I think Ben Affleck was a badass Batman. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. To me, Ben Affleck was the most comic book accurate Batman next to Michael Keaton and Adam West. Yes, I said Adam West. If you got an issue with it, you could fight me for it.
Ben Affleck made the Flash movie.
Actually, I would argue Michael Keaton made the Flash movie.
Oh yeah, Michael Keaton. I'm tripping.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. Yeah,
Keaton
Michael.
made it, but that's what I was thinking. I don't know what I got.
Nah, you're good, dude.
No, but what happened to
Facts, Wolf. That's one I forgot. That is one that I forgot. Thank you. Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. Thank you. That was another one that I forgot. And then, let's not forget about Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. Because around the time when he got casted, keep in mind, he just got off a drug binge. Okay? Let's keep that in mind. He got off a drug binge. He just got out of rehab. And, he just was barely getting his life together. People thought, Jon Favreau was fucking crazy for casting Robert Downey Jr. And the minute they saw him as Iron Man, dude, people lost their shit.
How do you feel about Supergirl?
Hold on one sec, y'all. What's up, babe? Nah, I'm good, love. Appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, and then before I continue, man, I do want to take the time to shout out to my girl. She's she's not feeling too hot today, and just want to say appreciate her for everything that she does. But anyway, back to the freaking stream at hand, man. Dude, yep, I have to agree with you, Wolf. Yeah, Ben Affleck is the perfect Batman for Batman versus Superman, done right for facts. If they did an Injustice movie, that's what Batman versus Superman would have been.
How do you feel like casting for Supergirl? What they got planned for her? Zara, whatever her name is.
Oh, Sasha Kaye.
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind her as Supergirl. In fact, she kind of exceeded my expectation. I wanted to see more. I was actually intrigued because I know initially I was like, I ain't signed. I ain't cool with this choice. What the fuck were they thinking with this choice? And then when she actually was on screen, like,
Right.
I wanted to see more because, dude, she was like another highlight of the fucking movie. Like that's kind of crazy. Like Supergirl and Batman were like the highlights of the movie. They like explain to me how the two characters in the movie that aren't the main that aren't like the main protagonist outshine the main protagonist. Like, yeah, and then that also brings me to another example when I say like kind of soft and stoic casting choice. Ezra Miller as the Flash, bro. Like, I'll be honest, I've never been sold on Ezra Miller as the Flash. Not since Jump. I've not been sold on Ezra Miller as the Flash. Let alone Barry Allen. If it was Wally, okay, sure, maybe Wally. He could probably get a pass with Wally, but Barry, no. I'm sorry, man.
They just need to pass the role over to Grant Gustin.
Yep.
And let him be the true Flash, because I mean, honestly, he's probably been the more accurate version that I've seen ever of the Flash.
Yep, he's been like the most accurate next to John Wesley Shipp.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, as far as live action Flashes, it'll always go to those two.
Right.
Like, yeah, nah. I'm sorry. I'm not. I just can't see. I can't take him seriously when he's playing the Flash. I'm sorry. I fucking can't. I just cannot take him seriously as the Flash.
I feel like he's more like a Wally.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If he was Wally, yeah, if he was Wally West as the Flash, okay, yeah, I could take him. Then again, I'll be like, okay, got it. But it's just the fact that he was playing Barry.
Was it me or like I don't know if it was just the person they casted for his girlfriend that it didn't feel right. Like how they usually cast people that look good together. Them two didn't.
Yeah.
Like, who is this?
Yeah, like I have to agree with that. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the I like the actress that does play Iris West, but I feel like it was kind of a one off. It was just really it just wasn't there, man.
Like you see the TV series and they look good together, but then you see the
Yeah,
movie, what happened? Like,
yeah, because the chemistry is there between the two actors.
right.
The chemistry is there, like, and I think that's like something that like when some people when they talk about movie casting and stuff like that, and these I guess these producers want to they try to say like, oh, it's toxic fandom. No, it's because you gotta look at it like this. Like, the fans have grown up with these characters for a long time, so they kind of understand the character's motivations. They understand what drives the character to be who they are. If like how the character's decision making is going to be. You know what I mean? And at the same time, if you see two actors that just don't really fit what you're used to reading, it just throws you off. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like, let's say if you're like a fan of Twilight and you have, I don't know, let's say you have Kiki Palmer as freaking Bella, and then you have freaking let me think of another example. Let's see. And you have yeah. I'll just use Ezra Miller as Edward. Is that not some one-off casting?
I don't even know how to think about that.
Exactly, exactly. That's pretty much how it is. That's how I look at it with Ezra Miller and then Carisi Clemens. That's her name, Carisi Clemens. Yeah, when I see those two on screen, like, you know, it's nothing against Carisi Clemens. I think she's an awesome actress, but I think if you had someone else playing Barry Allen that can actually act better, I think the chemistry would be there.
Right.
Yeah,
That threw me off way too much. I was like, is that supposed to be Iris? Oh no,
yeah,
that could be Iris. No, no.
yeah. Because it took me a second to realize that was Iris.
Right. I thought that was just a random reporter talking to him. I was like, oh, that's Iris. Okay.
Yeah, it took me a minute. Yeah, and then like I don't know, man. Just I think with some of the like some of the superhero movie casting, it does seem like some of the characters do come off kind of soft. Not saying that means the actors are soft. Like case in point, when you look at Tom Holland, y'all think, oh man, this is just a fucking baby face looking motherfucker. But to be honest, he actually plays a good Spider-Man. It took, and I hate to say it, it took to the third solo Spider-Man movie for him to become Spider-Man.
I enjoyed the Spider-Man series because there is character growth versus some other movies
Yes.
that they do come out with, and for him specifically, I think it's in real life too, because you know he was trying to hook up with his Mary Jane.
I mean, let's be honest. We all knew that was going to happen. We all knew him and Zendaya were gonna shack up. We all knew that was coming.
Yeah, but to see that on the movie though as well, like it eventually happens, is you know.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things I do like about when you see Peter and MJ in the MCU, because the chemistry is actually there. Like you can't sit up there and say that those two don't have any chemistry. No, it's there. Like you can clearly see how it translates on screen. You know,
Where do you feel like the new series is gonna go for Superman and Lois?
I don't know. It can go so many different ways, man. It can go in too many different directions. It's not even fun. Like it could possibly go maybe into the whole death of Superman, possibly. I mean, and then maybe his son slightly takes over for an episode or two. I mean, it can go into some shit where Lex Luthor is just possibly taking maybe Bizarro's blood and turning people into like Bizarro like creatures, pretty much finishing up what Bruno Mannheim couldn't do.
I enjoyed that storyline where they went to the bizarre world. That was so interesting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, yeah, like I didn't think I was gonna like I'll be honest. I didn't think I was gonna actually like Bruno Mannheim. I didn't think I was gonna I just didn't think they were gonna do it in a good direction. And surprisingly, I'm not gonna lie. I love the direction they went with it. Chad Coleman is a fucking phenomenal actor. Very, in my opinion, I think he's an underrated actor. I think he's pretty underrated. This is just my opinion, because any movie or TV show I've seen this dude on, dude fucking does a phenomenal job. You know, the dude's a very underrated actor. In fact, I'd probably say he's maybe underappreciated too. Like I would give that dude his flowers while he's still alive, because between seeing him on The Wire, The Walking Dead, and then I remember seeing him on what's that show, All American. He was even on Arrow for a couple episodes. So like, yeah, like I think, like I said, I think that dude's a very underrated actor in my opinion. You know, like I think the dude deserves more credit than he gets. But that's just my opinion.
Your point, back on the character or casting, about the people being soft. It's
Mm.
ironic that a lot of the movies that he was prior in are all drama movies. So maybe they're gonna have Superman cry in one of these movies. That's why I feel like gonna have him cry, because you pick your cast to be somebody that is gonna be doing certain things like action based or drama based, and a lot of his prior movies are all drama based. So it's
Oh, you
probably
talking about Tyler Hecklin?
um the cornrow dude. I don't know what his name.
The dude that plays the dude that plays Superman.
Yeah, the new cast. Yeah.
Oh, the new cast for the Superman movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see, man. Because I mean, I did see like a little clip of his acting where he was kind of acting a little quirky. I was like, okay, okay, I can see him playing Clark Kent. I can see it.
He's a
You
Clark
know?
Kent, but it's hard to see him as Superman and not just a Clark Kent.
Yeah. Because my thing is this. This is how I look at it. Anybody can nail Superman. Anybody can play Superman. What's really hard is playing Clark Kent.
Right.
Like if you can't nail Clark Kent, then you don't even bother trying to freaking play. Don't even bother trying to audition.
Mm.
It's just like I say with Batman. Anybody can play Batman. Well, no, I take that back. That's actually a hard character to cast
That's
because
hard.
yeah, that one's actually super hard. So I take that one back. But Superman would be easy because if you can't play Clark Kent, don't even bother because that's a hard one to nail. I feel like Clark Kent is hard to nail, and everybody's think does go has that whole notion. Oh well, Clark Kent and Superman are the same. Well, true, but at the same time, they both act differently in public, and I
Mm.
think a lot of people fail to realize that they both act completely differently in public. So it's like you got to understand the whole dynamics of how both Superman and Clark Kent conduct themselves in the public eye. Just kind of like with Batman, you have to understand how Batman and Bruce Wayne conduct themselves, you know, in front of not just the public eye, but just even in private. Because even then, Batman. You can tell when Bruce is being Bruce and when Bruce is being Batman. When like he's like in the back here or some shit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
It's
yeah,
like a alternate personality, honestly.
yeah,
It's
I
one of
agree.
those Superman powers to switch between egos and stuff.
Yep, pretty much. You know, but
It's not
like,
just the glasses.
yeah. But I mean, like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, man, I kind of want to see how this version of Superman plays out. I mean, I hope they do pretty decent. I hope they do good.
Hmm.
You know, I hope the movie does pretty good. I mean, we'll see. Because you know, right now we're just kind of going off of face value. We're just going off of what we see. You know, we haven't really seen Superman in action, and not to mention, I'll be honest too. I kind of want to give James Gunn the benefit of the doubt, even though he is like, you know, hinting some questionable choices, but I still kind of want to give him the benefit of the doubt, if that makes sense.
I still like it's more of an ego trip. Like they don't want to have their stuff mixed with Snyder stuff, and I think that's what this is more about when it comes to story writing is just writing out all of or undoing all of Snyder's stuff and
Yep,
kind
I
of
agree.
solidifying a new kind of genre because these movies they will go on for some time and whoever sets the foundation will always have that ability to come back and just add on to that story. And I think that's what James Gunn is trying to do is set up to where he can always come back and like add on to his own kind of narrative.
Right. Yeah, and I actually have to agree with that too, because even then, I kind of think like when it comes to Warner Brothers, they've kind of had a hard on for Snyder. Just my opinion.
I mean, his writing is by far some of the best cohesive writing. I don't know why they cut out so much of the actual movie from making it make sense. Like when you watch the Snyder cut, it's a completely different story and it makes sense more than what they had on the actual theater screen,
Because
which
at the end of the day, they were worried about time.
I mean, as far as a movie, some of the cutscenes, like they're spread out between each of the movies. They could have added that in like extra deleted scenes on the videos, or they could have added like, at the end of each movie, they could have added those as the extra stuff, like some snippet of some of the storyline changes, or some parts that didn't even happen in the movie that we weren't even aware of. Like it's But at the end of the day, I think that's what this whole storyline changes are. It's not necessarily making sense to us because it's literally just there to get rid of Snyder stuff.
Yeah.
Then the real storyline will start out. That's what the Splash movie is supposed to be. That's what I
Yeah.
feel Aquaman is gonna be.
Yep.
And then the authority is just gonna change the whole. I think that's really gonna be like the touching point is the
Yep.
authority.
hmm I agree. Like, it's like at the end of the day, it's like I said, they're trying to erase. They're trying to basically erase. They're trying to basically disavow Zack Snyder.
Hmm.
And again, I'm not caping for Zack Snyder. I'm just letting that be known. I ain't caping for Zack Snyder, none of that shit. I'm just telling you like it is. But that's what they're doing. They're trying to erase Zack Snyder. But hey, right,
I'm curious how they're gonna do the authority, like because they're just gonna throw it all in one movie, but there's so much. There's so much inside of it. The authority. It's just it's interesting to see that how they're gonna pull that off. Like like just like the because they're different. It's different people from different dimensions. So it's just like okay, good luck. Just me thinking about just Stormwatch, for example.
yep. That's where I was.
Like
That's what I
how
was
are y'all gonna
thinking.
do this? How you're gonna explain that?
Because Stormwatch was some fucked up shit.
Right.
That's,
Supreme Prime Earth messed upness.
and then let's not even get started with Midnighter.
Right. Like
Because, like, dude, I don't think they're ready for. I don't think anybody's ready for the authority because, I'll be honest, man. When it really comes down to it, like, they're gonna have to really tone down Midnighter.
listen, I thought they were gonna just throw him on like peacekeepers. Like he seems more like the peacekeepers kind of villain, but
Eh,
I don't know how they're gonna do that.
I mean, I think I think like if him and Peacemaker were to freaking be in a oh my god no
Just pure
you
chaos.
can't put him and Peacemaker in a fucking room because this is basically it's you might as well have Batman versus Peacemaker. That's basically essentially what you're advocating for is Batman versus Peacemaker. If you were to do that fight,
Everybody wants to see that. You know,
yeah,
it'll be amazing. And then the puns, the back talk and the mess talk. Oh man.
yeah, the fucking oh my god. Just the banter alone, because just watch him freaking turn around, watch him tell Peacemaker he's got multiple organs, and Peacemaker's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Oh man.
God,
He's
I'm
gonna be
sorry.
saying yes to Batman.
Oh, yeah, and then he'll be like, say some shit like, "Don't make me call my fucking boyfriend," and then Peacemaker will be like, "Wait, you have a boyfriend?" You're like, "Yeah,
Right.
he's just as powerful as Superman." And then you gotta start laughing, and
Right.
then freaking motherfucker shows up.
Oh gosh.
I don't know, man. I think it would be interesting to see.
I think he would make fun of his hat, his peacemaker.
Yes, I think he'll make fun of the helmets and start asking if they're. That's what I would wait for. I'm gonna be like, dude, if you start roasting on the helmets, I'm done.
No scumbag.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Call him
he'll
this.
do it.
He'd be like, "What is this? Are y'all just like the Scooby Doo crew with superpowers?" Like,
Pretty much. I could see some stupid shit like that happen. It'd be fucking hilarious, bro. I'm sorry, that shit would be funny as fuck.
yeah, but all the stuff the authority is about, like how I'm just trying to comprehend how they would bring that into the current universe. They haven't even fully explained. Like I know Flash, we saw the crazy stuff that was going on in the multiverse, but they didn't explain what the hell was going on, and we kind of got like a hint. Like I don't know if you realize this, but the colors, not just the multiverse, but the way things were happening, there are different spectrums of the lantern rings,
Yep.
and I kind of I don't know if that was a part of the end. Like I don't want to spoil the end for the Flash for anybody, but I felt like they were hinting some other stuff going on there, along with the forces, Speed Force, the Strength Force, that was also implied inside of that movie. Notice we didn't even get a Reverse Flash. We got, I'm sorry, not a reverse. We didn't get a Reverse Flash. We didn't get a Godspeed, which I thought that's who I thought it was. Is
I
Godspeed.
mean, because I heard what the original script was. Like, long story short, the original script, they were gonna get like a evil Flash. It wasn't gonna be Thawne. It was actually gonna be Wally West.
See, that would have made more sense though, because that actually does happen in one of the Flashpoint. Like we don't, they in the comics they don't talk about it, but Wally has his point where he messes up on a couple of timelines, but he
Yeah,
fixes it. But at the same time, it created like a bad version of himself. But he fixed it. See, it's okay. But
yeah.
uh,
They were gonna do that, and then they were gonna have Thawne basically be kind of an onlooker.
I'm surprised they didn't have Thawne pretty much in that movie, like at all. Like
Yeah, that was kind of a letdown. The fact that they didn't have
really
Thawne
weird.
in the movie, yeah, that was a letdown. The fact that Thawne wasn't in it, was a fucking huge letdown, and it was a missed opportunity, in my opinion.
So they did give us a hint though,
Mm.
a super hint, because they had that the whatever was happening, it was not just one flashpoint, it was more than one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because he said, what do you remember when he was taking a video of like Supergirl fighting and stuff? He's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm taking a video for our kids. And I was like, huh? Wait, what?
Yeah, that was
And he
that was
goes, what do you mean our kids? He's like, oh, never mind. I was like, nah, you can't just bring that up and just
yeah.
felt that
I
was really
mean,
interesting that they suggested that.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, man, I'm just gonna wait and see because between what they're doing and then what, like, I don't even know what Marvel is going to be cooking up right now. Because if I'm gonna be 100% honest, I really don't see Marvel doing shit
Marvel,
this year.
in the
Like,
comic wise, is getting their stuff together. I actually am enjoying the Marvel comics, like just not just as a one off for each of the characters, but as a whole, especially X-Men. I don't know how they're gonna fix it for the movies. I don't know what they're gonna do for that. But as a comic, the cohesiveness of all the mutants and all the other crazy stuff coming together is actually really good. Don't know how they're
yeah,
gonna implement it on the movie side, but even Venom storyline. I don't know if anybody or any of y'all have read or seen the Sinisters of the Sins of Sinister. You
yeah, I
have
haven't read
to
it
take some time and read that, because that changes so much, but it also adds so much depth to what we already knew about, like the fights between Mr. Sinister and the X-Men, but it puts so much weight on the reason why Sinister does what he does. So they just need to figure out what they want to do as far as the future of Marvel, because Avengers can only go so far. I'm sorry. They're gonna have to figure out something. They need to go
yet.
back to maybe X-Men and focus on that, and then take some time and do some other characters. But Avengers can only go so far.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you on that.
Like they're stalling out what was supposed to be Secret Wars, the last three movies, and now we're
Yeah,
getting sprinkles of Secret War. I'm just like,
man, I don't.
Civil War and then Secret War kind of combined and sprinkled throughout the next couple of movies is what's
Yeah,
happening.
it's like at this point, I don't know. And then right now, like I'm watching Secret Invasion.
Right.
Um, if I'm gonna be honest, man, I kind of do feel like the execution for Secret Invasion is kind of weak. Like I feel like when it comes to Fury, they really kind of. I feel like they dropped the ball with Fury. I'm just gonna be 100% honest.
Especially if you know what Fury can do and later on like what he is and stuff. Like
Yes,
you're super dropping the ball.
yeah, they kind of just. I don't know, man. They kind of made. If I'm gonna be honest, man, they basically made Fury look like a bitch in his own fucking movie.
Yeah.
Well, it was on TV show.
I mean, you forgot what they made Noel. What they did to Noel
In the comics?
in the movie.
No.
Noel is way more powerful to be defeated by some baby kids. Like
When did they bring Nolan?
Noel,
Yeah, when?
that
I
was
might have missed.
Thor. The Thor's Love and
Oh
Thunder.
no, that's not Nolan. That's fuck, I forget his name. It wasn't Noel.
That was
Um,
Noel.
no, Noel is the king. He's the king in black.
Yeah, I thought that was Noel. That's who they were.
Oh no, that was
Let me double check this. Hold on.
no, he was the God Killer. I forget his name. I don't know. Because I can't really look it up because if I try to look it up, it's gonna kick me off the stream yards.
No. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, it's not Noel.
I could have sworn that was Noel.
No, because his sword was supposed to come from Noel.
Gore. It was Gore.
Yeah, Gore the God Butcher.
Okay, that makes me feel better. But that gives me hope that they'll actually do Venom correctly then.
We'll see, man.
Because Noel would be the next big. He would be the next big threat I can see them doing. And the way they have Venom already set up, it would be the perfect threat for them for the Avengers if they wanted to bring them in.
Oh yeah, agreed. You know, but I don't even know if they're even gonna go that route. I don't think they're brave enough to do it. I think they're too scared to do it.
I want it to happen.
Oh yeah, dude, we all do. Yeah, we all do, man. Trust me.
What happened to all the? We still never even got an update on the Eternals either.
I don't even know, dude. At this point, I don't even know if they're even gonna finish out the Eternals.
There's so many questions on that.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna. Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie. I just think the way they did the Eternals in the MCU was trash.
Yeah.
It was trash. But then again, I just feel like if I'm gonna keep it a stack, I don't think they should have done an Eternals movie in the first place.
This is true because they haven't even explained Celestials.
Well, they did a half-ass job with explaining Celestials. They did a half-ass job.
Because I mean, you look at it, the Celestials. I mean, any storyline you go into, and you get far enough, you have to explain the prior Celestial, or like where they come from. But from the looks of it, half of them are already dead.
Yeah, like, they basically made it to where the Celestials. It was retarded because they basically made the Celestials like they were fucking. They made the fucking Well, they made the Eternals like as if they were like fucking robots or some shit.
They made them look like Galactus. Closer to Galactus, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. The Celestials are just, I don't know. They could have done so much more with the Celestials and with as far as explaining them a little bit better, but hey, whatever. You know, basically they said Earth was supposed to be, what was it, like an egg, I guess like an egg or whatever for how the Celestials are born with like just planets in general.
Right, which that didn't make any sense either because
no.
And then you still got the one Celestial part out of Earth. Half of itself is like out of Earth or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna let this giant Celestial just chill there.
Pretty much, it's like I'm gonna let him halfway sleep. We'll come back and get him later. That's pretty much what they said. Like, we'll leave him there. We'll come back later for him.
If you haven't been keeping up with the current like Marvel stuff, they're actually bringing back the Beyonders.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I think that would be the perfect setup for the X-Men movie to be able to build up to the point where the X-Men have to fight the Beyonders. I think that would be the perfect storyline for them because there's so many people involved in fighting them, but the Beyonder is so overpowered. Like it's ridiculous.
At this point, they might as well just whatchamacallit. They might as well just do Secret Wars and just have the Beyonder pretty much running the shit. They might as well.
what was his name? There was one Beyonder that was like in charge of them all. I can't remember his name.
I don't remember either. But
Uh,
but let's be honest, that was bullshit that they retconned the Beyonder. That was bullshit.
they're trying to basically make it to where the older characters and villains can come back and be cohesive with the story. That's all they're doing. And it's kind of like what DC's doing. Like older characters can come back, and then like Plastic Man and the other characters that were like possibly dead or MIA or lost in some other dimension, so they
I
can have
mean,
these like amazing crossovers again, like they used to do in the back in the day.
and Plastic Man should have never been sidelined in the first place.
I mean, he is pretty overpowered. Like that's why he was. I think he's on
Yeah.
par with Superman if you want to put it that way.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, you know what? I take that back because yeah, you're right. Plastic Man is very overpowered. Very overpowered. Like this dude, damn near. This dude can turn into literally anything, and then not to mention trying to do any damage to him. Good luck.
Right, and
He,
everything to him is like a joke. He's like a troll superhero.
yeah. Because at the same time, he knows because he knows that you can't really do shit to him.
Right.
That's why he doesn't take it seriously because he already knows trying to do any damage to him. Good luck.
But see, that's what I was also like I thought they would have maybe done a movie on him so far, to just like throw him in at a later time, but I think it would have been a hilarious movie just to see Plastic Man do the things he does. Like,
I
but
mean,
who would play him though? That's the question. Like maybe Jim Carrey. I think Jim Carrey could pull off Plastic Man.
I mean, if he wanted to, he probably could. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would be down to see it because I actually do like Plastic Man anyway. So I mean, it don't really make a difference for me.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah, I
think it would
don't.
be the new Deadpool, the DC version of Deadpool.
I mean, he pretty much is. If you think about it, he pretty much is, minus the fourth wall breaking shit.
If
Which
they really wanted to make money, they could. I mean, it'd be really hard for them to pull off, but the Batman Who Laughs. I'm sorry, but that is the honestly the best written storyline I've had for Batman that I've seen in a long time. Other than the Killing Joke, the Batman Who Laughs is just. I would love to see that as a movie as well. Like
they would be too scared to pull that off. I'm sorry.
too much.
Yeah, it might cost too much, but at the same time, it's just the simple fact that Warner Brothers doesn't have the balls to do it. And then also, let's be honest, man. A lot of these companies nowadays, I like, and this is something I've noticed. Have you noticed that a lot of these companies they hate the fan base? Have you ever noticed that?
I think a lot of movie makers, like going back to that whole ego thing with the James Gunn and Snyder thing, they always want to make a name for themselves by making their own stuff. So they'll read whatever the comics are, whatever the storyline is, but then they'll
Yeah,
twist it to a whole nother level, and it can't be untwisted. And I think that's what happens essentially with the writers and the people making the movies. Like they don't want it to be linked too much into the other stuff because they
yeah,
want it to be all about themselves. And I think I mean, honestly, a lot of production companies when it comes to movies and TV series have been dropping the balls for years. Like
yeah.
the Watchmen series. What was that? I was enjoying that and that just poofed that away. That was perfect. Um, you
I mean,
know, go ahead.
no, I'll just say. I mean, I thought the Watchmen series was okay. Wasn't my favorite, but I thought it was okay for what it was.
Right. But they just kind of just like I feel like if you start something, you gotta finish it. Don't just stop halfway and be like, oh, it's not doing so well. Like finish it because finishing it, at least you can build off of it and do other things with it. Don't just leave it half cut.
Yeah, and yeah, and I agree with that because I mean, there's a lot of like TV shows and movies that they left on like massive cliffhangers that just had you like, what the fuck?
Gotham.
Oh,
Gotham
God,
was
they ended it. They ended that already.
they ended it because they ended it, but they didn't end it to a certain. There's so many more questions and so many other things it could have led to. Like y'all just got into the Court of Owls, and that whole Court of Owls goes way deeper than what they left it on,
Oh, I know.
and they just kind of left it. I was just like, oh,
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a given.
so
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's kind of a given. I mean, as far as the Court of Owls, I mean, that was kind of one of those things like when it just came. I think they should. They think they jumped into the Court of Owls a little too early.
really?
Yeah, if anything, I feel like if they were gonna do the Court of Owls, it should have been one of those things. It should have taken at least 2 or 3 seasons. And I think they touched on it for like what, one season, and that was it.
I mean, but the villains that come after, like they could have set it up to where the villains that came after Bruce, like, basically the villains that came after Batman, they could have
Yeah,
had him. They could have had them coming after him when he was younger, because there's a lot of characters that have been hunting Batman forever, and we just never knew about it. And there's just like small hints of it, but they could have brought those characters in, and the Court of Owls could have been like, they're gonna be the new Batman, and since you don't want to take the mantle.
yeah,
But it's I don't know. There's just a lot that they can do with the storylines, and I think that they're trying to be, like I said, like basically ego tripping on their storylines.
yeah. That's something I've been noticing. Is like at the end of the day, a lot of these directors, they just, yeah, you're right. They do have an ego. Like,
Look at the Justice League movie. Like that movie, the only reason that it fell apart was because of the director. And then the way he was treating people, of course. But
the second director, just so
yeah,
people are
yeah,
clear, it
yes,
fell apart because of Joss Whedon. Because apparently this motherfucker was on an ego trick, saying, "Oh no, I don't think that'll work. What Snyder's doing, I don't think that'll work. We'll just cut all this out, cut this out, cut that out, and then I'll just add my own shit to it, and everybody will fucking like it." Thinking he was gonna replicate the magic that they got off the that he got off the Avengers movies, and no, I'm sorry, you can't. What he did with the Avengers, you cannot do the same thing with the Justice League. You just can't do it.
no.
No, you can't. Like,
Especially the origins. The origins, they changed too much of it. They just, oh my goodness.
yeah, I think one big criticism I will say that I do have with one major criticism I have with Zack Snyder doing the Justice League is I think we should have had a better build up for the other characters. And what I mean by that is maybe do an origin movie for each different individual character and then go into the Justice League. And you can still have some of those Justice League characters kind of somewhat cross over in between each other
No,
before doing a Justice League movie. You know what I mean? Because it's like it'll make it easier for people that don't know anything about the Justice League or who some of these characters are. It'll introduce them to new characters. You get what I'm saying?
right. Like
Yeah,
that's
that
what I thought they were gonna do with for Hawk. What's his name? Hawkman. I thought Hawkman was gonna get his own movie.
yeah,
Uh, but they just kind of threw him into like Black Adam, and then that was like a ship that was just falling because they didn't really do any reference. They're just like, here's Hawkman, and he's after Black Adam, like no reference, and you can tell that there's supposed to be like, excuse me, we're supposed to know who Hawkman is, and then all these other people.
yeah. And that was kind of one of the things that kind of annoyed me with Black Adam is like you basically shoehorned in the JSA and you have people that have never ever heard of the fucking JSA. They're like, who the fuck are these people?
If anything, Doctor Fate would have showed up before Doctor Fate would have shown up before Hawkman would have,
Yeah,
because
yes and no.
Black Adam is one of those characters like, yes, like he was just doing all this bad things, but he wasn't technically doing anything evil. Hawkman just got a vengeance, obviously, which the moviegoers probably don't know anything about.
Yeah, Hawkman yeah, and that's what I was like, dude, like if y'all really knew the backstory of Hawkman, like y'all would know the reason why Hawkman's the way he is.
the reason
You
you showed
know,
up to Black Adam for that reason. There's so many other things that's happening
there's,
that
yeah,
the moviegoers don't know about, and they just kind of threw him in. I'm like, so he just basically there for revenge. That's all.
yeah. Basically, there's just too many variables with that movie. It's just, yeah,
He's talking about come over to good and all this other stuff. I'm like, nah, you want revenge.
yeah. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, man. I mean, I just think that's the issue with like a lot of the superhero movies. And then I don't know. I also think that it's a good chance that there is some superhero fatigue setting in. Like I actually like really thought about it. I really do think like when you always hear a lot of these people on YouTube talking about superhero fatigue, it's fatigue setting in and all this good shit. And you know what? I actually kind of see it. I legit see what people are talking about when they're talking about superhero fatigue.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of my friends, and they'd be like, "I fell off of superhero movies. I don't know what's happening, or I'm just tired of seeing the same old people in the same old movies. Like give me
Yep.
something new, kind of thing. But the industry in itself, the movie industry has changed over the last couple of years, and I think we're seeing like a repercussion of it. Like for the longest, before streaming actually took over, Redbox was actually the go-to. Everybody was hitting up Redbox for all the new stuff. But
Bro,
with
fact.
that, everybody was sitting there getting attuned to what B-rated movies, like
Mhm.
basically the worst type of movies that you can possibly see, and they didn't even have endings. They're just kind of thrown together kind of movies. And there's so many movies that were thrown in there that I didn't even know there were sequels to. Like there are certain movies that had sequels and I didn't even know, and were thrown to Redbox. And now movie industries have new technology. They've gotten bigger. And they were
Yeah,
like, we wanna flex our muscles, so they're doing all these bigger things. But now we don't even get like simpler movies.
yeah. What makes it
One-off.
even what makes this worse is that there's B-list movies that are better than like blockbuster films.
Yeah, I feel like they are like, especially for our generation. Our
Yeah,
generation is pretty nostalgic. Like we enjoy like the things that we grew up with, like Cartoon Network, Fox Kids, the OG cartoon Saturday morning cartoon stuff, and they're really trying to milk that. Like they really are. Uh, Especially them throwing out the Barbie movie. I was like, really, y'all, really, y'all
dude.
really out here throwing this out?
Yeah, and you know what? I heard about what they gonna do with the Barbie movie, and bro, I'm telling you right now, that's gonna be their detriment. I don't know if you heard about what they're gonna do with the Barbie movie, and
No,
me,
I did not.
so apparently the Barbie movie is going to attack gender roles.
I guess they're gonna
I'm
end up like
over it.
they're gonna end up like Supergirl. Watch.
Oh, the Supergirl TV show? Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't watch that show. It was so bad. They were trying to like shame Martian Manhunter. I was like, I'm done. How you gonna shame a whole alien? He not even in your species.
I was done, bro. Honestly, for me, I kind of was done after. I think that last season they had with Lex Luthor, I was done because
Yeah.
like I was like the only reason I was even kind of somewhat sticking it out was because when they showed that Lex Luthor was in there and he was being played by John Cryer, and I saw how good John Cryer was. I was like, you know what? I'll stick it out just for this dude. After that, I'm pretty much checking out.
I got really scared when they had the Flashpoint series, like when they had the worlds collide and whatever, and Supergirl showed up. I was like, oh no, they gonna bring that mess over here, and Barry and Iris gonna get divorced because of that stuff.
I was done, dude. Like y'all some fucking dicks.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, man. Like again, it's just one of those things where like I just think when it comes to making a movie, take all that stupid like take the social politics out of the fucking movies. Just make a good fucking movie. I don't know why this is so hard for people to do in this day and age. Like, what is so hard about making a movie that everybody will fucking enjoy? You know what I'm saying?
The other thing that I always enjoyed about comics is that the the difference between Marvel and DC is DC, when you read their comics, they make you question not necessarily society, but the architecture, like the morals between good and evil, the morals between what makes a superhero, or what makes a villain. When you get to like some of those ending arcs, you kind of go into those details. And I feel like the TV shows don't even touch on that. They're just kind of going through the storyline and the motions and stuff. But I think that that's what's missing from a lot of the current movies, is that there's no, like, I get it. You're trying to like explain the story, but they don't go into deep meanings of the superheroes themselves. Like Batman, I think the reason why people enjoyed um, the older Batmans is because we got into that dark and grittiness of it, understanding who Batman was, why
Yep.
he is the way he is, the reason why he's the Dark Knight in general, versus just being another dude in a cape flying around doing the things he does. And then you see how Gotham is. Like Gotham is not like a paradise city. It's pretty gritty and stuff. And
Think of Detroit times 10.
right, like you can't walk down the street, you get mugged just stepping
Or
out of
shot.
your home, or shot, yeah, or creatures attacking you. Some craziness is
Yep.
happening inside of Gotham at all times. So
Yep. Every day.
every day, and the police don't do nothing.
Yep. In fact, I would argue the police will be the first ones to rob your ass.
Exactly. So I think that's what's missing from a lot of the current movies is like the depthness of character development. The characters aren't being developed correctly, and they're not going into like the storylines too much. Like I was expecting we'd at least get like a origin story for Superman to a certain extent, not too far back to where he's like, oh, um, the baby Clark Clint, but like as far as maybe what Smallville was a perfect example
Are you
of
talking about
Clark.
Superman and Lois?
Well, not necessarily Superman and Lois, but like we get some kind of backstory on how his upbringing was.
Yeah, they did.
Because
Yeah, so I was gonna say they kind of did on Superman and Lois. They
yeah,
did
yeah, they
do.
did a little bit of it, like. But what I'm saying is the movies, the disconnect from the movies and the TV series is that they don't really do that on the movies. Like the TV shows
Gotcha.
do it, but the movies they just kind of throw it in there. Oh, there's Superman. Oh, the Batman. Oh, the Wonder Woman. Like, like I think the only person they might have done it for was maybe Aquaman, but they didn't even get that far. Like I was expecting we get more about Manta and some other people, but they didn't even do that. And I think that would have been a huge gain to understand the motives of some of the characters on the Justice League, because they all have different motives, especially Batman. But
Yeah.
they kind of just throw the Justice League into a situation where they have to team up, which is not how the Justice League originally like grouped up. They like there's some other stuff that happens in between, but uh, a perfect example was Cyborg. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens with Cyborg, and they don't even go into
Yeah.
detail.
Dude, that was like one of those things where like I was just like the fact that y'all like kind of didn't even try to bank on a cyborg movie. Hence why I was saying like a while back, like a long time ago, why did they not? They should have just released Zack Snyder's vision versus letting
Hmm.
fucking Joss Whedon come in and do his shit. Because honestly, that whole situation fucked up the original plan that DC had set up.
So you remember there was like an animation with the Justice League, and it was involved like Constantine was involved, and Darkseid ended up like
Yep.
pretty much
hmm
taking
Yeah.
over, and Batman got
Yeah.
his special chair and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I
Justice
I
League Dark.
really right, I really thought that's where Zack Snyder was trying to run it to, because I really thought that we were going to get another Constantine, and that's what it was going to lead up to. But then
Actually, that actually was Zack Snyder's original plan. Believe it or not,
right,
I read somewhere that that movie was inspired by Zack Snyder's original plan for the DC universe. Is it
right.
was going to lead into that, into something like that. Not exactly that per se, but it was going to lead into something into that because again, you also have to remember they were going to bring in Darkseid.
Right.
So
And
I mean,
they also
and
had
they were
Flash. Flash doesn't come in till the very end towards
yeah,
that situation to try to fix things, and then it causes a flashpoint.
yeah, and then they were also going to do some shit where Superman's son ends up becoming Batman.
Ooh, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, because I don't think his son was going to have powers, and then he was going to end up replacing Bruce as Batman.
Yeah, I'm
And
still
then
hurt about what they did with Batman and the Flash in that movie. I'm just like they took out the most meaningful moment in that whole entire series out, like
dude,
completely got rid of it. I was like, what
yeah,
is this movie?
yeah, and I posted it on my community wall because that was just how I felt about that. I was like, dude, that was a straight up missed opportunity.
Right.
Like y'all are some fucking dicks.
Like I understand
And
y'all
you-
wanted to bring the original Batman back, but y'all could have like hinted like, oh, that was actually, his dad. Something, something.
yeah, because I mean, the only reason they decided to do Michael Keaton because they wanted money.
True, but they could have been able to like, hey, I want you to give my future self or my future son this, and then that could have been it. That small little section. Oh, give my future son this. Oh, what? Your future son? Huh? Oh yeah,
Yeah, they could have
his
did.
dad. You know?
Yeah, they could have did something along those lines. But I mean, it is what it is, dude.
Man. Maybe
Yeah,
they didn't
but
want Michael Keaton maybe they didn't want him to cry because he did cry.
yeah, that's probably what it was. I
But
don't know,
that's
but
that whole storyline is also a setup for the a sequel to the Killing Joke. If they had gone down that would have led up to the Killing Joke actually.
awesome. It's a possibility. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, we'll see what happens in the future. Because I mean, let's be honest, they keep fucking changing up ideas like a fucking chameleon changes its skin, you know. So we'll just
Beetle movie. I'm so scared.
yeah. Which one?
Blue Beetle. I'm scared for that movie. Where it's gonna
Uh,
lead to.
Honestly, like I'm still gonna check it out anyway, just because I am a fan of Blue Beetle, and not to mention I do like the actor they have casted as Blue Beetle,
Right.
so I can't really argue that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna kind of let it play out.
I'm
I'm just
excited for the next Doom Patrol.
yeah,
That's what I'm
I
looking forward to.
yeah, because I kind of do want to see how Doom Patrol's gonna end though. But you
Right.
know, yeah, only time will tell. But damn, I know I've been in here. Yeah, it's been like damn an hour, 23 minutes. Shit. Yeah, I'll probably go ahead and end it. Yeah, I'll probably go ahead and end it. Do you have any final thoughts before I drop the end before I end up ending it?
Nah, I just hope the movies get their stuff together so we can get some decent roles and they don't pull a Deadpool on us again. Please.
Wait, which Deadpool? The new one or the X Men Origins?
Old one. Hopefully they don't pull that on us anymore.
Gotcha. Yeah, same here, man. They better not pull that bullshit on us, man. Cause I'm not feeling that bullshit at all. And yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. I mean, I got nothing else really. I mean, I've kind of already said my piece for the most part. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one here. I'm definitely gonna go live tonight again. Um, I know that in my community wall, it's a tie between Destiny and Warframe. So I'm gonna flip a coin, whatever it lands on. And you see whatever game I start with. That means that's the one that won. So with that being said, this is your boy Darkstar. Do want to thank my homeboy Outcast Havoc for joining me today. I really do appreciate it, brother. And you're always welcome to the stream anytime.
Appreciate it.
All right. So the next time, y'all be safe. Have a good one. And I'll see y'all later on the night. Cue the outro.